Our High Commission based in Dhaka is discussing in detail with the interim government of Bangladesh how to verify the number of any incidents or attacks against communities or indeed small businesses, where there have been reports of attacks on small businesses, to record those and to take remedial action and indeed to work on prevention. And that is why in the week that we visited, we were very pleased to hear that this special policing unit had been set up. We stand ready to offer advice on law and order, but know that this is part of the roadmap towards a more stable Bangladesh. We are aware of the statement of concern from the Indian government following the arrest of Chinmoy Krishna Das, a well-known Hindu leader, on sedition charges, and the UK FCDO desk is closely monitoring those developments.
We now come to the Secretary of State, Priti Patel.
First of all, I'd like to thank the Right Honourable Member for this UQ. It's an important subject, and he's also raised the arrest of the ISKCON leader, and it's a place of worship I too am very familiar with, near his constituency. But, Mr. Speaker, these are deep and long-standing ties between our two countries, and the Minister herself is right to point out that even though she's visited Bangladesh recently, as my right honourable friend, the member opposite, has said, the degree of escalation in the violence is deeply, deeply concerning. And what we are witnessing now is just uncontrolled violence in many quarters. And we are now watching with horror and shock as further violence is spread in Bangladesh. And all our thoughts in this House are most definitely with the diaspora community here and those who are affected in Bangladesh. These are deeply disturbing reports. The Minister herself mentioned the deadly attacks and the violence that took place during what is an auspicious period, the Durga Puja festival in 2021. So given the current instability in Bangladesh and since the departure of the former Prime Minister in August, this is a moment of deep concern. Many governments are condemning the violence and calling for peace and law and order to be restored. So I welcome the comments from the Minister, but I must emphasise that all efforts must be taken now. We have a religious leader who has now been arrested. We need to know effectively what is being done to secure his release, due process in particular. But at the same time, can the Minister give details of the government's engagement with the government on this particular matter? What discussions have taken place? And have we been robust in pursuing the right to protect life, the prevention of violence and persecution, and importantly, tolerance for religious belief? What efforts has the government undertaken to build upon the last government's work to promote freedom of religion and belief in Bangladesh? And can the Minister say what discussions are taking place with other international partners to help restore this kind of stability that we desperately need to see in Bangladesh?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. The protests following the July and August student-led events were deeply troubling, and of course led to the fall of the government there. And the opposition spokesperson is quite correct in emphasising the nature of these worrying protests. And our constituents are concerned, which is why the member for Brent has brought this important question here today. And these do include reported cases of retaliatory attacks against allies of the former regime, including Hindu minority. And some of these attacks are allegedly politically motivated and are of concern. And that's why I had it at the top of my agenda when I met with Professor Dr. Yunus. And that's why the effort was made to set up this particular policing unit. And of course, our High Commission is active more than any other that I could see when I was there in guiding, in helping, in supporting a peaceful transition to a new government, elections eventually, and indeed to a harmonious future. And anywhere in the world where freedom of religion or belief is at risk, there we will be standing up for the rights of minority groups.